Survival of the fittest, that's the plan. You better recognize that I'm the man. I see you trying to mess up my plan. I see right through you, I'm just saying. I'm through with my thing, don't really care what you be saying. I'm through with my thing, don't really Welcome to everybody out there. I'm just doing my name is KJ. Don't really care, I'm just saying. My name is KJ. Welcome to the Average Voice, people. It's another week. It's another week. What did I get up to this week? I don't know. Not much, really. Didn't do much this week. We had general conference over the weekend. Um, just been chilling at home, really, most of the time. Um, Wifey's been doing her thing as well. Man, we got 2 months left in this year, 2023. Oh, I'm on my vintage nest today. You know what I mean? Vintage drip. That's what they call it. I'm on vintage drip because like I was just thinking, man, like what would you tell a person um that was in a coma for like 33 years? What would you say to that person? Like, how would you explain what the world is like today? Like, what would you say? First of all, you have to dress like them. Remember that movie, Captain America? So Captain America, he survived death, right? So he was frozen for like 50 years or something. He was in a coma for over 50 years. And then when he came to, it was a whole new different world. It was a whole new different world. So over the weekend, I was thinking to myself, what what would I tell? Like, how would I explain to someone like how it is right now? Because we're literally in the future. This is literally the future. 33 years into the future. So this person has been in a coma since that time. Yeah, I'll this is how I would explain. I'll say, um, welcome to 2023. You've been in a coma for the past 33 years. So the last time you were awake was in 1990. So much have changed. So much have changed. I'm about to give you a whiplash right now. So people rarely watch TV, they watch podcasts. People rarely watch TV, they got podcasts. There's literally electricity everywhere, even in the rural areas, believe it or not. There's electricity everywhere, even though it's not as good or reliable. We have something called load shedding, where the electricity keeps on tripping. Um, Cars are different. They beep a whole lot than before. Some cars literally drive themselves now. Some cars have no keys. You just push a button and it starts and it moves. Some cars don't even use petrol, they use electricity. Some cars have both engines in one, an electric turbine in it, not an electric turbine, but an electric drawn engine and a combustion engine. It's called a hybrid. It's endless stuff. What else is there? We got cell phones now. You can talk to anybody at any time, at anywhere, literally. This thing, like, it's with you all the time. Apparently now they integrating it into your teeth, so you're gonna have a cell phone in your tooth. That's what they're working on. What else? Got laptops now. We got something way smaller, smartphone. We got tablets. Oh man, that person, if they were to come now, and I'll be like, there's something worse than homosexuality. Not worse, but according to them, because back then, to the 1990, homosexuality was like the most abominable thing ever. So now people don't even identify.
So there's non-binary people, so they don't identify as a man or a woman. And there's things, there's transgender people now. And you know, I'll explain that a transgender is what, there were drag queens back in the day where men dressed up like women. Well, now a transgender is replacing your gender to literally be a woman or to literally be a man. So I'll give them that type of whiplash, and I'll be like, there's no more racism. Well, it's alive, but it's not what you remember it as. So that's a plus. People are now living together. People can now get married interracially. So we got a lot of advanced things that have happened. So that's why I'm like dressed up all vintage today, because I'm like thinking, ah man, sheesh. You guys, also fashion has changed. Fashion has changed a lot. I remember when I was growing up, I was into like hip hop, 50 Cent and them, dressed baggy clothes. Now, if you looking at a person wearing baggy clothes, they kind of look funny, right? Okay, not really, eh? Because now we're so diverse, it's not even funny. Like even if a person is wearing vintage clothing, it's still dope. It's very cool. Um, versus skinny jeans were in fashion before baggy clothes, but now you see teenagers of like you see them, they just wear whatever they want to wear. And obviously you still have your ladies that want to put on their elegant wear. They look like they're going to church or they're going on a date. I still like that. And then your streetwear is just out of this world, because people are just so creative with the way they put on clothes together. So fashion has also changed. So yeah, man. So I decided this podcast, I'm gonna just be on my Tupac Biggie. Just I'm just gonna be like this, but do the thing, because I'm on a different high today. I'm on a different high. Yeah. So much has changed. So much has changed. So I call this the vintage podcast. Yeah. Welcome to the vintage podcast, which is the elephant that's in the room today. The vintage stuff, things that used to happen back in the day. And yeah, man. I also want to touch on us. Basically, you remember I said I want to talk about what's happening in me. So yeah, I'm gonna focus a little bit as well about what's happening in me. What's going on with me? All right. So check this. I said people watch podcasts now. They no longer watch the news, because we know back in the day, let's talk about society. Society back in the day was an idea of what normal is, an idea of what normal is. So people needed to be dressed the same way, being sort of plus minus the same class, um, drive almost the same cars, do the same jobs. Jay, that's what society was about. So therefore, those rules, they mattered. So if you wanted to be an inventor, you were an outcast. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, we don't do that stuff. If you want to be an actor, you like, what the hell? And then, as time went by, things got acceptable. So society was a great idea back in the day, but now it's not, because people are so woke and awake today these days. People are so woke, and they know that if something's not working for me, so therefore, if my parents want me to be a lawyer, and I know that I can be a great physicist, I can't be a lawyer, so I'll be a physicist. So the world has been so open, and It is not rigid anymore. No dogmatic mentality. So that's what's happening. So that was the idea of media. I'm sorry, of society. Then media, they always pushed a certain agenda. Like you watch the news, they'll only talk about this thing, and you because so consumed in watching one thing. I don't know what's happening in the news today. I for one don't participate in like television. I don't, right? I'm just an internet guy, man. I'm in the internet. So if I happen to stumble across something while scrolling down that's newsworthy or whatever, I watch it. I just watch it and I just like whatever. So if it's politics and whatnot, I don't even bother watching it. It doesn't matter to me. So media back in the day, you had to act in a certain way. You had to speak in a certain way. You know what I mean? Just that's what it was back in the day. So, hey, dude, technology, technology versus back then, dude. We have man. So I was born in 1990. So everything literally, I saw literally everything advance. I believe that we live in the most advanced version of Earth in the entire existence of Earth. This is the most advanced time Earth has ever been. You know, let's take streaming for example. Like when I stream right now, if this thing was live, if this podcast was live, I would literally I'd literally be speaking to someone who is in China and they can comment like in real time. That is mad, right? That is crazy. That is crazy. So that's what's been happening to me. I've been on this nostalgic journey throughout this past weekend. So I'm like, man, so yeah, technology. You remember first industrial revolution. Now I think we're in the fifth industrial revolution. I know there was this one politician who was asked to a trick. Yeah, I don't even think that was a trick question. The guy was like, "Okay, so you are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. Can you please break it down from the first industrial revolution to now?" Hey, Miss Ban, blank. Hey man, I don't blame the guy, man. I don't blame the guy. He's just a politician, man. Who doesn't care about industrial revolutions? He's just a politician. That's all he cares about. So yeah, man. Sure. Um now guys, hey, what's happening inside me? What's happening in me in this vintage thing? So there's people that wish you well. And then there's people that really genuinely want you to succeed, right? Um, you can't really tell because it's just like love. It's painted with the same color. Someone can tell you that they love you, but they don't. They just know what to say in order to, you know. Yeah, I'm not gonna say further, but people know what to say just to do for you to do what they want you to do. They say they love you. So I'm a very paranoid person, right? In by nature. I'm very paranoid. I don't know why. I'm so paranoid. I'm so paranoid. So when someone wishes me well, it just depends who it is, man. I've grown to develop like a defense mechanism against people that hate me, you know. Like the moment I sense as that someone is faking it or that's genuine hate, I remove like the feeling that I'm supposed to have because there's too much energy. So whatever you say, it's like null and void. It just comes and it just comes like and disappears with the air, you know. When it comes to when you coming to hate on me or push me down, all right. So there's people that will always wish you well, but they don't mean well. There's people that wish you well, but one can't wait for you to fall. They're like, yes, do it, go for it, go for it. Oh man, I can't wait for this disaster to happen. Some people hype you up in hopes that you fall. Like their hypeness is just for you to just crumble, fall into your knees, and fall into this whole depression phase. There's people like that out there, and there's no remedy. There's no remedy for it. That's why you just have to be you, man. Just be you. When you start something, don't look for validation. Just do you. I'm doing this podcast with no validation, man. I'm just out here, right? I'm just out here. So if someone comes now and say, "Bro, I don't like how you dressed. Bro, I don't like how you speak. Bro, what are you on about?" I'm like, "Yo, man, I don't need your validation right now. This is what I'm doing." All right. That's some 10 cents for you today. Some 10 cents empowerment. Yeah, man. So we got people like that just don't ever want you to do well. And it's very hard to unmask these people. But who cares, right? Who cares? As long as we get um that as long as you get that, what you call this, that thumbs up, that's what we care about it at the end of the day. So just focus only on the thumbs up, not the agenda behind that person. Otherwise you're gonna go crazy, for real. You're gonna go crazy. So I'm saying, guys, I'm a very paranoid guy by nature. That's what's happening in me. Very paranoid, and it's a vintage thing for me to be paranoid. It's like since I was young, I've just been a paranoid person. So in that, all right. So there's people that wish you well, but you're not sure. That's where my paranoia comes from. Like, okay, all right, but I'll take a compliment, but it's always like question mark. There's always a question mark. Um, so it begs me to ask myself, what's the difference now between pride and independence? When I'm being prideful, when am I versus being independent? As far as I know, pride is when you can't accept help, even when you see that, hey man, like truly, I really need an assistance. And when someone lends you a hand and do not you do not accept that helping hand, so that's pride, according to me, as far as I know. So pride is also you wanting to be way better than everyone else, right? Pride, right? But let's dumb it down. Let's not go into deep. So pride versus independence, right? This is me when it comes to receiving help or a helping hand, right? For me, I'm in by nature, I'm very independent. I like doing things by myself since I was very young. So I moved out the whole at home, like it's average, right? I'm like I told you guys, I'm an average person. I moved out the house when I was like to go work. I think I was like 20 or 20. I think yeah, 2021. 2021. I was very young when I moved out the house. The job that I had was like 2.5 at the time. That's what I was earning. Yeah, and I had to rent and buy food and all that with just 2.5, travel to work. And you must remember, not this is not 1990 something, this is like 2010. Well, like money is money at that time. So 2.5 was nothing. Even today, I don't know how I survived that. So was I being prideful for not asking anybody for a helping hand at that time? Because I was out here trying to be independent. Was I really being prideful? So I like when I'm thrown with challenges, I want to figure it out and then do my thing, you know. I want to like try and like see where can I touch, where can I push so that I can go through this hurdle, this challenge that I'm going through. Is that pride? Am I prideful for not asking for help? Am I prideful for trying to do me? Is that pride or am I independent? Where do we draw the line? Saying that, I love the fact that we live in a very subjective world. Literally. Remember, I spoke about the idea of society and what society was. Society was an idea, and something is all that is also subjective, but it was also imposed on people. It's a subjective idea that is imposed on people. So hence it's an idea of normal, actually. It's an idea of normal that is imposed in people. So even with the law itself, the law is made up. Like your laws, your traffic laws, your daily living law, they subjective. People made that up. They thought, okay, this might just work. Let's pen it down. Yeah, if you're not aware of that, you think like it's where do you think the law comes from though? Really? You never thought about that, right? Someone wrote it down, someone thought about it, and people discussed it and like, okay, cool. It sounds about right. All right. So laws are basically um designed around morality. That's what the subjective ideas designed around morality. That's law. That's law, right and wrong, basically. That's all that is. So we live in that world, and this world is so subjective. It's not even funny, and it's also good at the same time because we are now able to do podcasts and we have our own opinions. You know, I remember you could only watch that presenter. You could only watch that show at that time. And like it was normal, right? We were like robots and we didn't even think about it. You know, you sit at the same place every day, watching at the same time every day, generations. Generations is like you can identify with a certain character. That's why you want to go watch it, because like I can identify with this. You're not watching it for entertainment. You literally watching it because you want to live like that person. You wish you were in that standard. As much as you may think that that's what that was, but they're portraying a subjective idea towards you. That look how many people now are doing media, because that's what generation portrayed so much. A lot of it was just media, this media that, promotion this. um People are now like infidelity. Okay, can't really say infidelity because it's also like a moral thing, you know. But I feel like if you're watching TV at the same time every day, you brainwashing yourself. You becoming like a robot of some sort with one routine. That's society. Society, we do one thing, we do it. So now we have a whole different space. And you know what I can't deal with? Like when I'm watching something and there's an advert. Oh my word. I hate adverts. I hate adverts. You know how crazy it is? Adverts now are like 5 seconds long only. And 5 seconds is the longest thing ever. Why is that? Hmm? It's mad, right? How can 5 seconds be like the worst thing or the longest thing ever? I remember this one guy. He was talking about he was attacked out of nowhere by, because I don't know. So he was attacked and then he started defending himself, right? Um, a lot of things happened. Like he fought to the guy, they went on the ground, they wrestled, got up, They tried to beat each other again up until the other guy saw that okay, there was security coming and then he ran. And literally says that was just 45 seconds. It wasn't even a minute, it was 45 seconds, but he felt like he was in there for the longest time ever. Time is very, very scary. It's a scary thing to think about. You might think that you have all the time in the world, but like literally your whole life can be your whole life in 45 seconds. Ah, man, that's mad, right? That is mad. I am going on a rabbit hole, yeah. So we live in a very, very subjective world. So law is subjective as well. So you can also make up your own law and go to court and say, look, this is, I think we should discuss this. And if they deem it as law, they'll write it down. The moment it's penned down, it's a law. So anybody can make a law. Anybody. So yeah, man. So I'm a paranoid person like that, you know? It's very difficult for me to accept or be assisted. I still say you can call it pride, but I feel it's part of independence. It's how I was raised to be independent, right? So when someone intentionally comes to me and gives me a solution, I'd rather do that than really go ask someone to go out of their way to assist me, even if they're not going out of their way. Because okay, let's go back to the people that wish you well but don't mean well. I've experienced people, um when I was younger, you would ask for a favor, yeah, you ask for a favor, even if it's just okay, it's mainly money, right? And tell someone in confidence about this thing, and then yet it becomes like a topic, a talk of the town at some point, and you're like, I will, dog, I told you this in confidence, like sharp manje, why are we all discussing, yeah, well, because I'm like, I like keeping my life as private as possible, you see. So now when that happens, yeah, so ever since, that's why I'm so paranoid when it comes to seeking for help. And as well, like in the past, I've been assisted by people, right? And then uh, that person that's assisting me ends up now complaining about assisting me. They offer the help, you accept the help, and then they complain about it, and then it's like you are a burden to that person for some reason. Like njani, like when did I become um a burden? Because like you came with the idea and you offered the idea. I was like, are you sure about this? You're like, yeah, I'm sure about it. And then now you're complaining about it. It's a problem to you. And you telling other people that I'm a problem in your life. I'm just burden. Like ingena, like when, why? So I think it's a trauma, maybe. So that's where my paranoia comes from. When someone wants to help me, and I was like, that's why I'm like always reluctant to ask for help as well. I don't like people talking about me in a bad way. It just, there's something about that energy. It really comes back to you, and you feel it as a person, and then life doesn't go as well as you want it to, you know. So that's my problem, man. That's my problem. That's what's happening in me. Am I proud, or am I just extremely independent? What is that? Right? What is that? I don't want to justify anything, but like it is what it is, right? So yeah, man. So this is me out here, the average voice, average Joe. Look, man, I enjoy talking. Like I said, I enjoy these talks. I enjoy these talks, and I hope you take some stuff out of here, man. Look, if you feel like you are a proud person because you can't accept help, talking from my experience, it's fine. It's fine. You independent, bro. You independent. Okay? But just don't die out of don't die now because you have no food and you are independent. Okay, that's pride right there. Be careful, be careful of that wormhole. Be careful of that home wormhole. Remember, we live in a very subjective time in the world. So there is still right and wrong, there's still laws, but we must just remember no one is completely right, no one is completely wrong. Everything can be justified. For example, how many people have killed and walked out of jail, right? How many people have stolen things? How many people have raped? Subjective, right? It's all subjective. It's all subjective. So remember there's right and wrong. So remember it's morals. That's what it all comes to. Just morals. And yeah, man. I enjoyed myself with you guys in this vintage episode of the average voice. Hey man, thank you for sticking around for such a long time. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one, man. Pa 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 pa. Okay, this is how I usually do it. I am out.
I'm just saying.